What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Cars Mario here, and welcome back to another video. I know, I'm actually recording a video for once. This is actually insane. Once in a blue moon thing right here. Me recording on YouTube. That's a video on YouTube. That's not Super Scripture Sunday, I know. But today I figured I'd react to the preseason week 1 because although it's preseason, it was actually a pretty crazy preseason. I probably won't react to all the games. I'll probably mention all the games, but some other games I'll explain more than some others. But let's just not waste any time. Before we get started, of course, smash like, subscribe, hit the tiny little notification bell. That way you never miss any new videos just like this one. And as always, that is caught by me. And just due to the suggestion. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump right in. I'll mention the Hall of Fame game. It was between the Chargers and the Lions. And the Chargers, yeah, they whooped up on the Lions. 34-7. Trey Lance actually looked really good in this game. He actually had 2 passing touchdowns. If we go and look at the QB stats, yeah, he looked pretty good. Okay, there we go. It was tweaking for a second. Good grief. Yeah, Trey Lance, 13 for 20, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. DJ Uyunglele didn't have to do much in this game. Vidal had 2 rushing touchdowns. Amore Hampton, 2 carries for 9 yards. KLS, K. Lambert Smith, 2 receptions, 43 yards, and a touchdown. Will Disley also had a touchdown. That's the name I haven't heard of in 5 years. Looking here at the Lions, Kyle Allen, 9 for 14, 91 yards, and 2 interceptions. Hendon Hooker also had an interception. It was a crazy interception, too. The Lions dude had it, and then the Chargers dude, ripped it out. It was pretty insane. Hendon Hooker, 3 for 6 for 18. Craig Reynolds had a rushing touchdown. He had the only Lions touchdown. And that's basically it for the Hall of Fame game. Now on to actual preseason week 1. I will start, of course, with my Ravens. They get the dub against the Colts. Ravens, once upon a time, man, we were 24-0 in preseason. Had probably the most meaningless streak in NFL history because it's just preseason. And then we started losing these preseason games. And this one, if you look at the Ravens stats, the freaking QB stats, you'll wonder how the heck we won because they were atrocious. The QBs were. Devin Leary, 3 for 12 for 43 yards, no touchdowns, and an interception. Cooper Rush, 2 for 4 for 16 and an interception. Absolutely awful. At least Keaton Mitchell, he looked pretty solid. 9 carries for 68 yards and a touchdown. Keep him out the rest of preseason. I know he's injured right now. He's dealing with a groin injury. Hasn't been practicing. I don't think he needs to practice. He's in regular season form. Get him ready. Dearness Johnson, 18 carries for 57 yards. Yikes. Rasheen Ali actually did pretty solid, too. 9 carries for 37 yards and a touchdown. LaJonte Wesner, 2 receptions for 41 yards, and that's basically it for the receiving. He also had an 87-yard freaking punt return touchdown, so that was good. Rasheen Ali also had a good kick return touchdown, so that was pretty good. We did have an interception courtesy of undrafted free agent Jay Higgins, so shout out to him. Pretty good. David Ojabo had a sack, so much so that it bent Anthony Richardson's finger, and I don't know how much time he's going to miss, but until then, Daniel Jones will be the starter, so it'll be interesting to see. Adisa Isaac also got a sack, so that was pretty cool. Looking here at the Colts, Riley Leonard, 12 for 24, 92 yards, and an interception. He actually gave the Colts the only touchdown, courtesy of Khalil Herbert, another name I haven't heard of in a few years. Was hoping he'd have a little bit more magic. One of the drives, he looked really good. And then the next drive, he threw one of the just awful interception. He threw it right to Jay Higgins. It was insane. Daniel Jones was fine, 10 for 21, 144. Anthony Richardson, 2 for 3 for 21 before he got injured. Looks like here, not much for the rushing. Ashton Dulin led receiving for the Colts, 3 receptions for 54 yards. Tyler Warren had 3 for 40. Adonai Mitchell had 2 for 37. Laquan Treadwell had 1 for 24. Another name I haven't heard of in a while. Defense, looks like there was a sack by Ababwari. I think that's and then Tuli Malu. I think that's a Notre Dame dude, if I'm not mistaken. Bocce had an interception. Who else had an interception? Johnson had an interception, so that was cool. Oh yeah, Tyler Loop, he missed a field goal, but he made one. Spencer Schrader, I think he 3 for 4. He looked pretty solid. He also missed one before half, so there was that. Leary also fumbled before the half, so yeah, that was that for the Ravens. But the Ravens, they get the job 24-16 against the Colts. They get the job done, I should say. Professional. Good grief. Up next is the Eagles and the Bengals. The Eagles get the job done against the Bengals, 34-27. Again, preseason's preseason, but Joe Burrow played the first 2 drives, and he looked fantastic, darn near perfect. 9 for 10 for 123 and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he's ready for the season. Desmond Ridder, 7 for 16, 91 and a touchdown. Jake Browning looked not good at all. 6 for 14, 62, and an interception. Rushing was terrible. Okay, let's just ignore that. Jamar Chase, 4 for 77 and a touchdown. Tanner Hudson, 6 for 62 and 2 touchdowns. Pretty good job there. Looking here at the defense, looks like not a lot happened. There was a couple sacks. Doesn't look like there was any interception. Oh, Gilles Harris had an interception. So there's that. Looks like McPherson was 2 for 2 on field goals, so congrats to him. Looking here at the Eagles, Tanner McGee, freaking legacy run. 20 for 25, 252, and 2 touchdowns. DTR, 5 for 8 for 56. Kyle McCord existed, 1 for 5 for 8 yards and an interception. Good job, Kyle McCord. Can't believe Ohio State, man. It shows anyone can play at Ohio State and do good. Good grief. Will Shipley, 7 carries for 48. Powell had a rushing touchdown. McGee actually had a rushing touchdown too, courtesy of the tush push, of course. Cooper had a receiving touchdown, 6 for 82 as well. A. Smith, he had a touchdown. I think that's Anais Smith. I remember him from Texas A&M. Defense, looks like there was a sack. There was an interception by P. Johnson, so good for him. Kicking, Jake Elliott, looks like he was 2 for 2, so good job for him. Eagles get the job done, 34-27 against the Bengals. Moving on to, I think, the first of 2 ties in the preseason. Raiders and Seahawks, they ended up tying. I caught the back half of this game, the second half of this game. Aiden O'Connell looked like Aiden O'Connell, 18 for 30, 205, a touchdown and 2 interceptions. Cam Miller looked pretty good, 6 for 7 for 76 and a touchdown. Geno Smith, I think he played 1 series because he was 1 for 3 for 15. Chris Collier led rushing. That's a former Raven. 9 carries, 42 yards. Interesting. Raheem Mostert, 1 carry for 11 yards. Most notably, Ashton Genty, 3 carries for -1 yards. Yikes. Jackson, 4 receptions, 76 yards, and a touchdown. Good for him. A touchdown by Labe. Defense, looked like not too special. I got a sack, an interception. Daniel Carlson, 3 for 5 on field goals. One of them was the game-winning field goal, which was blocked. I saw that. Seahawks, Drew Lock, 12 for 22, 147, a touchdown and an interception. Sam Darnold looks like did not play. Jalen Miller did, though, 6 for 10, 61 yards. Nothing too special. Holani, 7 carries, 61 yards, and a touchdown. Wright had a touchdown. Horton had a touchdown, 3 receptions for 31 yards. And it looks like that is it. An interception, a couple sacks. Looks like there, Jason Myers looks like he was 1 for 1 on field goals, so good for him. Raiders and Seahawks, they end up tying. Who the heck loves a tie? Nobody likes a tie. What the heck now? Anyways, looking here, the Browns and the Panthers. The Browns, they end up beating the Panthers 30-10. Pretty healthy win there. Shedeur Sanders, all eyes were on him. He started a little shaky, and then quickly, once he got to the red zone, and once he, got to a touchdown or 2, he started to look pretty good. 14 for 23, 138, and 2 touchdowns. Tyler Huntley, he actually looked pretty good too. 6 for 8 for 51 and a touchdown. Obviously, Shedeur's going to get more of the focus. He is also injured, and I think he's unlikely to play in the next preseason game. So there's that. All of the Browns, like their 15 quarterbacks, I think 14 are injured. So 14 of the 15 quarterbacks are injured. I think Tyler Huntley is going to be Tyler Huntley for now. Rushing was not too special. There was a touchdown, but that was about it. Receiving, Davis had 2 touchdowns. McDonald had a touchdown. Doesn't look like there's anything else. A sack, an interception, it looks like. You know what it is. Andy Dalton looked like Andy Dalton, 13 for 19, 101, and an interception, no touchdowns. Only touchdown was from Bryce Young, 4 for 6 for 58. Jake Plummer, 6 for 10 for 79. There was that. Chuba Hubbard, 3 for 10. What the heck? Trevor Etienne, 2 for 3. Yikes. McMillan, 2 receptions for 43. Had some pretty good catches there. A touchdown by Cocker. I hope it's Cooker. I think it's Cooker. I really hope it's Cooker. Some sacks, and looks like no interceptions by the Panthers. But all eyes were on Shedeur. He looked pretty solid. Looking here, next game is the Lions and the Falcons. This is a game that I'm not really going to touch on too well. What I will say is prayers up for Maurice Norris. The game was suspended early in the fourth quarter after he was carted out the field, actually taken to the hospital after a pretty serious injury. So I'm not going to get too much into that game. That's all I really know from that game. But the Lions, they did look good. And Kyle Allen, Lions obviously looked way better than they did in the Hall of Fame game. And Easton Stick for the Falcons, he actually looked pretty good too. And Emory Jones was playing up until that injury. Another former Raven. I don't know why we kept Devin Leary and not him, but hey, I'm not going to judge. Next up, the Patriots freaking whooped up on the Commanders. Another game I'm not going to get into too much. 48-18 was the final score. I will briefly mention Sam Hartman. Yikes. As a Notre Dame fan, big yikes. 9 for 19, 64 yards, and an interception. Josh Johnson, though, 15 for 22, 173, a touchdown and an interception. So, hey, look a lot better than he did last preseason. That's all I'm going to say. Michael Gallup, KJ Osborne, what the heck? Okay, y'all got the Unk squad. Might as well sign OBJ. Good grief. Wooldridge, 9 for 12 for 132 and a touchdown. Don't know that name, but he actually looks pretty good. Josh Dobbs, 5 for 12 for 45. Jarek Bay, 3 for 5 for 12. Ramondre Stevenson, 7 for 36. Travion Henderson had 1 carry for 18 yards, but more importantly, he started off the game right off the bat for the Patriots with a 100-yard kickoff return touchdown. Pretty freaking crazy. Polk, 1 for 1. 1 carry for 1 carry for 1 yard. Okay. Henderson, 3 receptions for 12 yards. Nothing else too special there. Interceptions peppered in. But the Patriots BTA the Commanders. Unfortunately, it's preseason, but still. 40, almost 50 points in a preseason game is freaking crazy. Crazy. All right, moving on, we got the Giants and the Bills. I did not catch any of this game. I'm going to mention Jackson Dart, 12 for 19, 154, and a touchdown. That was it. Actually, a touchdown pass by Dart, DeVito, and Winston. And Wilson, he played a little bit. Dart had 3 carries for 24 yards, so he led rushing as well. Couple touchdowns there. Moving on to the Bills, Josh Allen did not play. Buelchi, 10 for 12 for 91. Mitch Trubisky looked solid, 9 for 13 for 138 and a touchdown. Mike White also looked pretty solid, 8 for 13 for 112 and 2 touchdowns. Frank Gore Jr., 5 carries for 21 yards. Frank Gore Jr. had 5 receptions for 50 yards, so there was that. Hallmer had a touchdown. Hamler, whatever you call it. Dawson Knox, Evans. Yeah, basically, that's all I'm going to mention for that game. Just want to briefly mention Jackson Dart. And most of the Giants quarterbacks, they actually look pretty good. Same with the Bills. Moving on, we got the Vikings and the Texans. Also didn't catch any of this game. I'm not going to talk about the Texans. I'm going to talk about J.J. McCarthy, 4 for 7 for 30. He is coming off an ACL tear or Achilles. I forgot what he ruptured. It was out for the season last year for his rookie season. Sam Howell looked solid, 11 for 13, 105. Bromser had the 1 touchdown pass. Brett Rippon looked like Brett Rippon. McCarthy had a carry for 8 yards. Okay. Addison, 3 receptions for 33 yards. Addison, obviously, he's found out will be suspended for the first, I think, 3 or 4 games of the season. So, not very good right there. See a touchdown. Yeah, just the ordinary stuff. So, another game I didn't really care about. You see, as we get further along in the list, that's less and less games I really paid attention to or cared about because it is just preseason. I'll talk about this game, though. Steelers, they beat the Jaguars. They beat him 31-25. I actually forgot that they even beat the Jags. I didn't even know who won this game. Skylar Thompson, though. Hey, the Steelers quarterbacks, we talked about who's going to throw in the ball, but the Steelers quarterbacks looked really good. And never mind, they're playing against practice squad players, but they still look pretty good. Skylar Thompson looked really good. 20 for 28, 233, and 3 touchdowns. What the heck? Mason Rudolph, 9 for 10 for 84 and a touchdown. What? Crazy. Caleb Johnson, 8 for 20. It's preseason. We'll work on that. Not we. I'm not a Steelers fan. What the heck? Touchdown by Darnell Washington. Looks like Sermon, Hurleman, all that good stuff. Moving on to the Jags. Trevor Lawrence, 6 for 7 for 43. Nick Mullins, 11 for 18, 89 and a touchdown. That was the only touchdown that came from the Jags. Looks like Trevor Lawrence, 1 for 3. 2 in the rookie, 6 carries for 24 yards and a touchdown. Not much to say about defense, but I will mention, Cam Little, he just casually kicked a 70-yard field goal. You know how it goes. The normal stuff, as if this offseason wasn't bad enough for Justin Tucker. I mean, crazy. Jeez. Sorry about that. Someone had to mention it. Rams beat the Cowboys 31-21. Looking here, not going to mention too much about this game because it's another game I don't really care about. Joe Milton looked pretty solid, though. 17 for 29, 143, a touchdown, and an interception. Stetson Bennett looked pretty solid for the Rams, too. 16 for 24, 188, 2 touchdowns, and an interception right there. That's all I'm going to mention about that game. Moving on. Just want to get this done and dusted. Good freaking grief. Looking here, the Buccaneers, they beat down to the Titans 29-7. Looking here, Cam Ward, 5 for 8 for 67. Allen had an interception, 2 interceptions by Tim Boyle. I would expect that from Tim Boyle. 4 for 13 for 24. Tim Boyle, what are we doing, bro? Joey Chestnut. I forgot that Joey Chestnut plays for the Titans. I forgot about that. I'm joking. It's not him. Tajay Spears, 3 for -1. What the heck? Calvin Ridley, 3 for 50. Interesting. Don't think Cam Ward. Yeah, no, he didn't have any rushing, so he looked number 1 overall pick. He looked pretty good. Kyle Trask, 12 for 16, 129. Owen Wright had 18 carries for 87 and a touchdown. Another former Raven. What the heck? Tucker had a touchdown. That's about it. All I'm gonna mention there. Just again, these rookies, so most of them seem a little rusty. They seem like how rookies should be, but again, it's their first or second preseason game. We'll give them credit. They'll evolve. They'll get better, hopefully. Next up is the Jets and the Packers. Oh, this would be a good game if it was Aaron Rodgers, but unfortunately it's preseason and Rodgers is not on the Jets anymore. Martinez, 11 for 16, 152, and a touchdown. Justin Fields looks like he played one drive, 3 for 4 for 42. Nothing too special. Fields looks like he had a rushing touchdown. Moving on, Jordan Love, 1 for 5 for 7. 4 for 9 for 39. How the heck did the Packers had a combined, 10 for 22, and I'm not going to count out that, but that's not even, it doesn't look like it's 100 yards. What the heck? How did they lost 30-10. That explains why. Rushing touchdown by A. Johnson. But keep in mind, it is preseason. I know I might have some Packers fans watching. Let's chill out. It's just preseason. I'm well aware. I'm just reviewing what I see on the screen. Next up, we have the Cardinals beating the Chiefs 20-17, and right off the get-go, we're already glazing Patrick Mahomes 1 for 1 for 1. Let's try that again. 1 completion, 1 attempt, 1 yard, 1 touchdown, and apparently everyone's got. Oh, look how good the throw was. Yeah. Another year of that. Bailey Zappi is Bailey Zappi. These are expected numbers. 8 for 17, 70 yards, and 2 interceptions. Okay. You do. Gardner Minshew, 6 for 9 for 54. Kyler Murray, 7 for 8 for 96, and an interception. I heard it was not a good interception. Clayton Tune, 5 for 9 for 47, and an interception. 2 touchdowns, both by Jacoby Brissett, I believe that is. Wow, okay. Zonovan Knight led the rushing for the Cardinals, 6 for 51. Looks like that is it. Amari DiMercado had a receiving touchdown. 2 receptions for 56 yards. That's a running back. What the heck? Marvin Harrison, 1 for 15. Weaver had a touchdown. That is about it. So Cardinals beating the Chiefs. Probably not going to happen in the regular. That probably wouldn't happen in the regular season. That's how you know the Giants beating the Bills. It's like if that happened in the regular season, that'd be a different story. But unfortunately, it's the preseason, and nobody cares. Anyways, I think we have 3 games left, and then we're done. Broncos beat down to the 49ers, 30-9. Jared Stidham actually looked, really good. Holy cow, 14 for 15, 136, and 2 touchdowns. Bo Nix, 6 for 11, 31. Sam Ehlinger, 6 for 10, 55, and a touchdown. Jared Stidham also had 3 carries for 36 yards. Wow, well done. Tyler Beatty, another former Raven, 5 carries for 32 yards. Audric Estime, 8 carries for 21 yards. Okay. Sherfield had a touchdown. Good for him. Estime had a reception for 20 yards. I'm always going to mention my Notre Dame peeps. That's why I mention these random players like Estime and Sam Harmon. I'm going to mention my Notre Dame peeps because I'm a Notre Dame fan. Anyways, wow. I'm not even going to talk about the 49ers. I'm not even going to talk about the 49ers. The quarterbacks, each one of those 3 threw an interception and threw 0 touchdowns. All right, good job. Next up, we have the Dolphins and the Bears. They tied. So there was that. Quinn Ewers looked probably like the worst. I think he was the worst rookie on the field, to be completely honest. 5 for 18. That's not even 33%. That's barely even 20% or 25. Holy cow. 5 for 18, 91 yards again preseason, so we'll see. Zach Wilson, 5 for 9 for 96. He actually looked better than Quinn Ewers. Tua, 5 for 6 for 21. Ollie Gordon had a touchdown. Achane, 3 for 22. Wright had a touchdown. Madison had a touchdown, but then I think he had a season-ending injury, so prayers up for him. Tyson Bagent, 13 for 19, 103, a touchdown and an interception. Case Keenum, 8 for 10 for 80 and 2 touchdowns. And, yeah, Luther Burden, 2 receptions for 29 yards. Not bad. Okay, if I can get to the last game, that will be the Saints and the Chargers, 27-13. This one's kind of expected. I mean, again, it's preseason, but who really has the Saints doing anything? Tyler Shaw, 15 for 22, 165, one touchdown, one interception. He actually did the all he could. He actually did pretty solid. 7 for 11, 53 for Spencer Rattler. Hayner had an interception, whoever that is. Spencer Rattler led rushing, too, 3 carries for 22 yards. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, that's a name I haven't heard of in 3-4 years. Good grief. Trey Lance, 7 for 14, 55. DJ Uyunglele, one completion for one attempt and 49 yards. Good for him. Taylor Heineke, 1 for 5 for 8. Yikes. Rushing was good for Trey Lance, though. 7 carries for 48 yards and a touchdown. Sanders had a touchdown. Hassan Haskins. Why is there so many players I haven't heard of in 5 years? Holy cow. Brennan Rice, 1 for 12. So there's that. So anyways, I think that's all of the preseason games. So yeah, that'll do it for this video. I know, again, just preseason, but I'm just reviewing what I saw on the field after a crazy preseason. For the most part, crazier than normal, I should say, because again, preseason still preseason. Sound like a broken record saying that, but anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. As always, I am your not my host. What the heck? You know what the? Oh my gosh, I'm so used to recording on Instagram and in my series, in my NASCAR Smithfield Cup series. Smithfield.cup on Instagram if you want to follow me. That's a shameless plug. Anyways, I always say, like, as always, I'm your host, Crispy Bacon. Crispy Bacon's a character I play, and I'm so used to recording on Instagram, not YouTube. And anyway, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. Smash like, subscribe with the little tiny notification bell. That way you never miss any new videos just like this one. And as always, that is Clout, and I don't support that, so just do as it's just about yours truly. And I'll see you guys in the next video, in the future, whenever I decide to upload again. And this is a once in a blue moon opportunity, but I would love to get back to posting regularly. Hopefully I'll get back on that sometime. And hopefully finish NASCAR Heat 5 Championship mode, because I still haven't finished that yet, and NASCAR 25 is coming out soon. So gotta get on that. So see you guys then. Bye.